Hello and welcome to the third and final lesson of Branding 101 brought to you by Ashebrand. My name is Brandon Harris. I am the design half of the business, as many of you may know. As a designer, there are a lot of things that we must put into consideration for every task that we do, whether it be flyers for a birthday party, or maybe a wedding invitation, or maybe how about some postcards for you and your family on vacation in the Bahamas. I don't know. Everything takes a considerable amount of thought and research in order to make things work. Now, I'm well aware that a lot of you may not be so technically inclined, so I'll spare you all the logistical details and focus on what you should know coming straight from your favorite designer in order to become a successful brand. So let's get right into it. We'll be going over how to build your brand identity, working on maximizing exposure, and things that you need in order to get yourself started. And if you're already a pre-existing business, we'll also talk about what you need in order to get better. I'll only be covering one area in each topic just in order to, not overwhelm you with too much information. This will allow you time to think on it and maybe put some of what is said into immediate action after you finish this lesson. So first things first, you're going to want to figure out who you are. A lot of people misunderstand this or completely ignore this step entirely because they have a vision and they want to get started as soon as possible, but they don't consider the possible consequences to getting a false start with a temporary look. Now, here's the thing. When you're building your brand, don't think about what you see or how you want things to look, because as much as I hate to say it, this business that you have isn't about you. You have to take a step back from your brand and look at it as a customer entering your website or your establishment for the very first time. So let's explain what you can do to work on that. Building your brand identity is what you as a business are seen as from a consumer's perspective. So for the purposes of this lesson, we'll be using a fictional business that I called A Rested Dish. The name is based on the idea that you're supposed to rest meats after you finish cooking them, as well as funnily playing off the word arrest since you obviously can't arrest meat. This business will likely intrigue people to look at it because its name is interesting and funny, while it also shows that the owners know exactly what they're doing. Getting creative with your brand name can be an important step in improving customer engagement. Your physical representation comes next. Things that you should think about are things like what colors represent my business, rather than things like what's my favorite color. While your favorite color may express who you are as a person, you need to understand how that affects your clients and how they perceive you. So let's say, for example, your favorite color is red. So you go sell, for example, steak. This can be off-putting because it may remind your consumer about, maybe blood or violent handling of animals, mistreatment. So these are very scary things to think about, and that's why your colors, while they may not seem very important, are very important because we're talking about a business here. For example, our fictional business, A Rested Dish, that sells steak, and you got a red restaurant. It's reminding everyone of blood, so that's not a really good thing to do. You got to think of, your business and how that looks first before anything else. Now, it's important to understand that this is not just so copy and paste or cut and paste, whatever you'd like to say. It's very dependent on your brand and your establishment. If you're running, say, a classy upscale restaurant, Nothing says simplicity and class like black does. Adding red accents here and there could actually make for a very relaxing and inviting location. Ask Pizza Hut if they have any issues with red and black. They don't. Why? Well, because red reminds you of pizza sauce, and the black makes it a little bit more of like a premium feel to your pizza. You're not getting some kind of cheap pizza that you just got off of a corner store. So what I'd like you to do is think about what your business is doing and what colors would make sense for customers to be in. Blue for a daycare, silver or gold for a jewelry shop, green for a vitamin and health store. Don't be afraid to consult a designer if you're having a hard time figuring this out yourself. We study color for a reason. Next, let's talk about maximizing your brand exposure. So you've got yourself and your business all set up, or at least you're getting ready to launch, and you want to get yourself out there. Well, first let's make sure that you're ready to be under the watchful eye of the public before doing so. This is specific to your trade as well, so again, take what I say as a baseline and apply it to your scenario. So a rested dish is launching in a month, and you have no idea where to start. Well, I'd hope that firstly you wouldn't wait until a month from launch to think about these things, because you have to spend a lot of time prepping and understanding how these things work. So don't think about it all at the last minute, because you're going to make wrong decisions. You should be having a website. Business cards, stationery can be a nice optional thing to allow customers to, remember you, as well as promotional things like flyers or brochures that you can hand out. These things are important to have because you want to reach your customers no matter what medium they're using. Having a good website is important because people can search up keywords and stumble on you, as well as current customers can and will return for more information as the website is constantly updated. Business cards can serve as a sort of a personal physical website. Think of it as your business in 5 seconds, something that you can give to somebody and they'll keep on them forever. When someone sees your business card, they should know what you're about immediately. If they have to squint or read for any more than that, then you don't have a successful business card, which means you've just wasted a tree, and no one likes a tree waster. Jokes aside, it's okay to want a cool looking business card, but business cards filled with pictures of your celebrity appearances and 10 reasons why you should work with us, as well as a few cool designs that relate to your business here and there, your designer will tell you that that's doing more damage than good. So many times I see people asking for more things on their business cards when they should be asking for less. When someone looks at a card full of visual information, they can get confused, lose focus, or even lose interest, because it can easily be done wrong and make your card look amateurish, which doesn't look good for your own business itself. So my tip for today is to keep it simple and straight to the point. Secondary media like flyers, brochure, and things of that nature should be reserved for handing out to people and giving them something to remember without having them to come out to your establishment and things like that. The best thing about them is that people who pass by can see them and say, "Hey, what's that about?" And you just got 2 for 1, which can cause a snowball effect, which is amazing for your business. So it's important to think about these things when you're, about to put together an event, or you're about to launch your business, or you're trying to promote yourself. It's important to know where you are putting your time into each different type of media. The last thing I'll speak on is consistency. We've said it once, but I'll say it again, because guess what? That's consistency. When you get your business and your brand identity together, one of the most important things is to ask your designer about brand guidelines. Have a look at any big social media website and look up their brand guidelines. They're full of do's and don'ts because their designers spent a lot of time figuring out why this works here, but only in this color, and why this looks good here, but only in this size. With brand guidelines, you have a specific rule set of consistency. This allows everyone to recognize your business no matter where it's being shown at. If you see a blue building show up tomorrow with the letter F inside of a white box, what would you think that building is? I'll give you a few seconds to think on that, but you've probably already guessed by now. The Facebook building would be the correct answer. And why did you know that? Because Facebook has brand consistency. They're recognized no matter where they are. Not because they have a cool logo or because it's popular, it's because it's consistent. The most beneficial thing you can do for your business is figuring out your colors, getting your logo and brand materials together, and never changing them unless you plan on completely rebranding yourself. Think of it like a math problem. What you do to one thing is done to all, and if something's off, then the answer is wrong. Same with your business. If you're consistent in 20 different instances, but you use yellow instead of blue in another instance, then you've completely lost brand recognition. No one will ever associate that instance with you, even if it's the most popular thing. At the time, people will recognize, hey, I guess that's Facebook, but at the end of the day, we look back at that thing maybe 2 years later, and people won't remember it. They won't remember that you did it because it's not attached to you anymore. It's not recognizable. Hopefully I made things clear enough that you get a general idea to go off of and make informed decisions for your business in the future. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always email us at our inquiry email at inquiry@ashebrand.com. Or, if you'd like to ask me anything directly, feel free to shoot me an email at design@ashebrand.com. I had a great time thinking up how I wanted to make this final day fun and informative at the same time, so I hope I was very successful in doing so. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and making your brand the best it can possibly be. Take care.